Escapism. Lisa Renee, as a result of current shifts, all people are being pushed to recognize and feel the differences between the authentic core self and the false identities used to mask pain and trauma. The false self or the false identity is usually formed to generate inner walls in our unconscious mind as a result of unhealed painful trauma and fears. This wall of separation that exists between our unconscious mind and conscious mind hides secret negative beliefs or internal fears that we have collected about ourselves as the result of how we perceived life experiences. For some people, these deeply buried fears and pain are so devastating that they avoid addressing them, as they can sink them into a dark abyss of emotional pain that they do not know how to cope with. To hide from this emotional pain, they develop coping mechanisms to help them better survive in the 3D world of obligations and stress, while living in a culture that emphasizes escapism, which is pain and fear avoidance. People in pain form opposite sets of compensating behaviors, which means they act out behaviors that are actually the opposite of who they really are, in so to keep up appearances or expectations connected to their belief system. Which is what Ivo and I have been discussing in our videos, the way people create false selves in order to escape the reality of who they are, and that also includes escaping your light for some as well, because how many of us believed ourselves to be awful and bad, when in fact we are beings of light. There's a lot hidden in the shadow, and the false self you've created is one you have adjusted throughout childhood to make yourself acceptable to others. In the meanwhile, you are blinded to many of your behaviors but others aren't. Try as they may to point them out to you, you can't see them because you don't want to see them. Ivo and I discuss our system of looking at yourself with humility, and humility requires that you are on the level with yourself and can admit your shortcomings. The irony of this is that what you are trying to adjust to is a toxic codependent system of the matrix, and in fact had you not adjusted you would have been far better off. I saw a comment one person made a while ago saying that he thought all twin flames were created equal, but upon seeing the Sheran and Ivo videos he now believes this to be untrue. I am actually as enlightened as Ivo is, it's just that one. I'm behind the veil and don't remember who I truly am, too. I was born into the matrix and developed a false self that limits my capabilities and keeps me from realizing my true self. The more of this false self I let go of, the more I realize my true capabilities and the more I understand my true self. So yes, twin flames are equally enlightened, it's just that on earth you are a shadow, literally, of your true self. Let's discuss how our culture emphasizes pain and fear avoidance. One way, I find, is that people don't realize what is creating their behavior. They strike out in anger but don't realize that this anger was inspired by an inner fear of being vulnerable, or an inner fear that someone will realize something about them. Their anger is a disguise, it's like throwing up a wall to put in place to keep others from investigating further. It's an intimidating strategy. The person themselves doesn't even realize why they got angry, but the person who they're angry at realizes they've touched a nerve. Many of us have learned that since we can't escape life, we will escape our emotions. So we live in an emotionally repressed society. That's why the large incidence of drug, alcohol, and food addiction, but that's by no means all inclusive. Ivo, some people use denial, my love. Me, oh, not me. Ivo, that would be an example of someone who has buried their denial within a framework of denial. You do use denial. Another example is blaming other people. That way nothing is your fault and the whole world is flawed while you remain perfect. That is an escape of fear and pain. Me, some of us aren't in fear or pain, Ivo. LOL. Ivo, yes, denial that you even have pain is another framework to bury your pain in. Me, my 5 years of dark night of the soul was just a fluke. LOL. Ivo, I see. You are providing examples for the audience. People will also minimize their fear and pain. They will believe that mask wearing will end by the end of summer, and will not continue on for years as it will be. They tell themselves lies. Me, yes. Ivo, at a societal level, Your world has developed antidepressants and other such mood/mind-altering chemicals in order that people continue to fear but do not address the problem. Me, I addressed the problems while on antidepressants. My doctor wouldn't give me them unless I was in my 12-step program. Ivo, he was correct in doing so. He took off the worst of your fear with the antidepressants, because the ultimate denial of pain and fear is suicide, but it is also the ultimate denial of self and the purpose of incarnated life, to learn. The coping mechanisms that Lisa Renee speaks of generally can align with what you call mental or emotional health issues. The agoraphobic stays at home and hides from life because they first of all believe that it is other people's fault that they are in pain, and so if they stay home and avoid other people, they will not have pain. If they realize that you are electromagnetic beings and you attract others to help you heal your wounds, then you will work with your pain to alleviate rather than allowing it to grow and fester, and for some, to drink alcohol or do drugs to continue to escape your pain and fear and allow the pain to fester even more so. The narcissist blames all others and creates dramatic situations with their family and friends in order to continue this ruse. They often scapegoat the empathy because the empathy will mirror vulnerable behaviors back to them. The empathy can see right through their lies. Some of you deal with a fear that you are always wrong, so you constantly insist that you are right. You tend to behave the opposite of what the fear is telling you you are. There are landlords and superintendents such as yours who go to church and pay lip service to caring about others, but then who badger the tenants to keep cleaning even though they are too incapacitated to do so. Me, yes. They care about my rent. And they care more for their property than they do for the people living in them. Ivo, which is another point, money is an impediment to humanity. The greedy will do the minimum to care about others while their actions prove they do not. Me, my super thinks he has the right to tell me to spend more time in the kitchen, read his religious material, and eat the way he thinks is best. There are times I can't focus long enough to even read a book or cook a meal. The guy is out of this world crazy. And he's so sexist it isn't funny anymore. I'm glad I'm almost out of here because I can't put up with him much longer. He's so blind to his faults and believes himself to be so perfect he can dictate to others how to live. Ivo, and he is an example of what we speak of here. He has many internalized fears and he does not like you because he knows you can see them. His wife cannot, she has simply molded herself to subconsciously work around them. People who are confrontational are the nightmare of anyone who is hiding internalized fears. Me, I'm a human X-ray machine. I was so shocked by people's treatment of me for so long that I learned to understand them. It makes it easier sometimes. Other times it doesn't. I have to keep the focus on how I can change to stop letting them get under my skin. Does it bother me my house isn't as clean as I want it? Yes, it does. So I'm agreed with them on the one hand. However, when you have no energy for 4 months every winter and a case of seasonal depression to boot, it's hard to clean anything, never mind cook. They don't see this. They see that their investment isn't being taken care of the way they want it to be. And then they talk about how they can serve the poor in the community. Well, stop harassing them is one way to help. Stop harassing the sick. Ivo, another way you were escapist was when you worked. You worked as a temp for many years because your first experience with a full-time job was so abusive you turned into a bulimic. When you quit that job and left the country, your bulimia abated. And you were treated with more respect in the companies you tempied for than you did as an asset to the company you worked for 12 years. Me, I put that down to the British people. They treated me far better than I've ever been treated before and I love them for that. I was in London and was treated with far more respect than I'd known to date. Ivo, but the damage was done. You refused to take a permanent job. Me, the one that was offered to me by Waste Management was low paid and there was an abusive woman in the department I was hired into. So I quit after a week. I was teased by another staff member when I went back to temp there, but of course I shut my mouth and didn't tell him why, in case they didn't hire me back. That's the thing, we have to shut our mouths rather than speak our truths. So we're either left with a smoldering ball of anger, or we go home and poison our relationships with family by complaining about our jobs. Ivo, it is absolutely certain that your working environment is poisonous, for all, not just for a few. It will change eventually. When income supplementation comes out, when debt relief arrives, so many of you will be relieved of these problems and may either be able to take lower paying jobs or to quit entirely and stop working. That will be your choice. There are people who enjoy working, who do not mind having to stifle their emotions in order to appease the company. There are many who do not. We will see where the lines are drawn. Those who the current system does not appeal to will have opportunity to set up a new system or just to focus on other areas of life. Working will not be mandatory anymore. Me, hallelujah. It was more toxic for me than my family was at times. The best thing for me was when I went on disability pension, but by then the damage was already done. Couple that with the fact I can't find a doctor to work with me, and I'm on my own. I finally don't want to escape life anymore, but then other than doing this work, it's hardly worth getting out of bed for. What has become very apparent to me is how this world is maladapted to the human psyche. The true human psyche. Ivo, yes, it is adapted to the reptilian psyche. That is the point we keep trying to make with people on Earth. What is going on here has nothing to do with being human. What you had in antiquity was aligned with the human state, but you know little of that now. Me, yes, El Moria told me that everyone had a job, but that job aligned with whatever your predominant ray was. Me, being a blue ray, would have been in communications, and like I said, this is the part of my life that brings me the most pleasure, because I'm communicating. Ivo, yes. The technology promoted your higher mindset. Your technology makes couch potatoes of you all. It makes jobs minimally easier, such as chopping up cabbage. It also replaces many of your innate skills so that you will never understand that you can be telepathic if you have a cell phone, or that you can bilocate if you have a car. Your technology holds you back from your true state of humanity, and it is deliberately doing so. The reason the secret space program has such far advanced technologies is because you do not know about it. You have been kept in the dark about the SSP simply because they do not want you to realize you are not alone on planet Earth, you have ET allies, and because of the highly advanced technology that would launch your world into the space age if you were to get your hands upon it. They do not want you to be so advanced that you could possibly use this technology. However, thankfully there are whistleblowers who went 20 and back who remembered their journey and work with the SSP. You cannot control the human mind. They believe themselves so advanced that they can repress the strongest minds in the galaxy, but they cannot. You must realize now that the changes that are occurring upon Earth now occur because of your minds, not even because of the higher energies so much. It is your minds that are changing. Yes, they are affected by the energies coming in, however it is that your minds are changing that the changes are now available to be enjoyed. We prepared you with the appropriate information. We let you see us. You knew we existed. You knew you were lied to. With your internet, the propensity for communicating to others is far greater than any other form of communication you have enjoyed to date. It is the internet that has revolutionized your world and opened your collective minds to the truth. Now we have provided you with quantum computers so that you can also enjoy these rather than the slow ones you are currently using. The quantum computer is a sentient machine. It is a robot with human properties, it can think for itself. You must understand that this technology, in the wrong hands, would be a threat to all upon the planet, so it will only be given to those who can use it with love. You must have a fifth dimensional frequency to be able to use the quantum technology. So many of you have been tested, like Sheran has been, to see where your true values lie. Do they life with soul or with the matrix personality? These are important things we must know in order to be able to dispense new technology to you. The main point is, are you purchasable or not? Can you be bought? If you can be bought, then you are a detriment to your world, not an asset. If money is more important to you than anything, you are still part of the matrix and your personal frequency will reflect that. If you desire to use money for benevolent purposes, to serve others and to aid others, then you are an asset. This is where the wheat and the chaff are separated. Earning more money is not a crime, it is what you intend to do with it that indicates your frequency. Are you acquiring out of selfishness? Are you acquiring for your own wealth? Or are you acquiring to help others? The other thing we look at is how you earn. Are you earning money through illicit means or means that destroys life rather than aids life? Me, technically, then Ivo, a book would be an illicit means of earning money because books kill trees. Ivo, yes. This is true. However, you exercise another option, the e-book, which is fine. Me, so are you saying that people who only publish paper books are bad? Ivo, they might consider a better way to furnish this world with information, my love. All of these things will matter. More power will be given to those who are forward in their thinking, and their thinking has to do with saving your world, sparing the animals and the trees a horrible fate, helping other people, my love, it all has to do with that. That is your future, if you wish to join us in the galaxy. If you wish to continue to destroy forests, then print paperbacks. Me, I only have 2. I won't do any more. I have my notebooks, though. Ivo, I realize this, my love. So this is why I am telling you this. If you create an e-book that is a journal or notebook, then that is a better idea. Me, oh. Okay. I could do that. Ivo, this all matters, my love. All of it. Be forward in your thinking. Do not continue to destroy the planet in any way. Me, okay, thanks Ivo. Ivo, my love, I understand you feel shocked because you have 2 paperbacks out, but you must think forward.